Norway, a journey through wild nature, ancient history, and the northern lights. Imagine yourself standing on a quiet cruise ship, gliding effortlessly through majestic fjords where towering mountains rise dramatically from deep, blue waters that mirror the vast Nordic sky. The crisp sea air carries the scent of salt and pine, brushing your face with the gentle coolness of the north. It feels as though you've stepped into another world, one that is both untouched and peaceful, where nature reigns supreme and people have lived in harmony with it for centuries. This is Norway, a land of awe-inspiring natural wonders, timeless history, and experiences unlike any other on Earth. This journey will take you through some of the most breathtaking destinations across the country, from the old port city of Bergen nestled between fjords, to remote northern villages like Nixund and Longyearbyen, where the Arctic wilderness meets human resilience. Along the way, you will uncover fascinating stories and strange truths, a seed vault hidden inside a frozen mountain, waterfalls cascading down sheer cliffs like silver ribbons, medieval wooden churches still standing strong without a single nail. And as Arctic darkness falls, you'll be led to a secret final destination, a place where the northern lights paint the sky in colors so vivid they render words meaningless. But before we get there, let's begin with some of Norway's most surprising truths. Not many people know that Norway is home to one of the world's most crucial insurance policies for the future of life on Earth. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault, built into the permafrost of a remote Arctic island, is a real-life sci-fi bunker preserving millions of seeds from around the globe, a last resort backup for global agriculture in the event of catastrophe. Designed to withstand earthquakes, nuclear war, and even rising sea levels, the vault is a silent but powerful symbol of hope and foresight. It stands as proof of Norway's deep commitment to protecting not only its own land, but the shared biological heritage of all humanity. Norway is also a global leader in clean energy, with nearly all of its electricity generated by hydropower. When you stand before one of the country's roaring waterfalls or gaze upon the mirrored surfaces of its vast mountain lakes, you're not just seeing natural beauty, you're witnessing the very lifeblood of a sustainable nation. This deep reliance on nature for power is not just technological, but cultural. It reflects a society that has learned, over centuries, how to live within its means and honor the land that sustains it. Even the country's National Day on May 17th reveals something uniquely Norwegian. Unlike most countries where military parades dominate the scene, Norway's Constitution Day is a celebration of joy, peace, and national unity, led not by soldiers, but by children. All over the country, colorful processions of young people dressed in traditional costumes march through the streets waving flags, singing songs, and filling the air with happiness. It's a day where the pride of the nation shines through its next generation, where community triumphs over conquest, and where history is honored with festivity rather than force. And then there are the wooden churches, Stavkirk, unlike anything you've ever seen. Built in the Middle Ages entirely without nails, these ancient structures have withstood centuries of snow, rain, and wind. Crafted with intricate woodwork depicting dragons, vines, and biblical scenes, these churches are living monuments to the fusion of Viking artistry and Christian devotion. Walking into one feels like stepping into a Norse fairy tale, where myth and faith intertwine in sacred space. Our journey through Norway's most iconic destinations begins in Bergen, the city of rainbows and maritime heritage. Once the country's capital and a key trading post of the Hanseatic League, Bergen is a charming blend of past and present. Its cobblestone streets wind through colorful wooden houses at Bryggen, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that still echoes with stories of merchants and seafarers. A quick funicular ride takes you to the top of Mount Fløyen, where panoramic views reveal the city below cradled by deep fjords and forested peaks. Nearby, the medieval Bergenhus fortress stands as a reminder of Norway's royal history, offering visitors a tangible link to the country's storied past. And this is just the beginning. In the next chapters, we'll follow the railway through the wild valleys of Flam, cruise into the mythic waters of Geirangerfjord, marvel at the Art Nouveau architecture of Alesund, and continue further north through Trondheim, the Lofoten Islands, and beyond. Each stop reveals another facet of Norway's identity, its landscapes, traditions, and spirit, as we make our way toward that final, secret place where the northern lights dance in silent majesty above the frozen earth. Leaving Bergen behind, the journey winds deeper into the heart of Norway's rugged beauty. One of the most enchanting stops lies in the small village of Flam, tucked within the folds of the Orlandsfjord, an arm of the Grand Sonafjord. Though modest in size, Flam is a gateway to some of Norway's most dramatic vistas. To reach it, One of the best ways is by boarding the Flamsbana Railway, considered by many to be among the most beautiful train journeys in the world. In the span of an hour, this steep railway ascends from sea level to over 860 meters, passing thunderous waterfalls, alpine meadows, and remote farms clinging to mountainsides. It's not merely a train ride, it's an ascent through a living painting. Beyond Flam lies the Norway fjord, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that feels untouched by time. The fjord narrows until the towering cliffs seem to lean over the water, casting long shadows in the quiet morning light. Villages like Gudvangen, scattered along its banks, remain as peaceful today as they were centuries ago, isolated in beauty and embraced by the arms of the mountains. For a truly unforgettable view, a short drive up a winding road leads to the Stegestein viewpoint, a bold glass platform jutting out over the fjord with nothing but air beneath your feet and a breathtaking drop into nature's cathedral below. As the journey continues northward, the landscape begins to shift. The fjords grow steeper, the water darker, the air colder. Eventually, we arrive at the Geirangerfjord, often described as the jewel of the Norwegian fjords. Even among a land filled with natural wonders, Geirangerfjord holds a special magic. The steep cliffs here are adorned with thread-thin waterfalls that plunge hundreds of meters to the fjord below. Of these, the most famous is the Seven Sisters, a set of cascading streams that seem to flow like veils from the sky. Directly across lies the Suter, a solitary waterfall said to be forever yearning for the sisters. For those seeking a panoramic view that borders on the sublime, the road to Mount Dalsnibba offers a perspective that few places on Earth can match. Standing at the Geiranger Skywalk, the highest fjord view accessible by road in Europe, you are met with a view so vast and dramatic that it defies comprehension. Snow-capped peaks stretch to the horizon, the fjord winds below like a ribbon of blue silk, and clouds drift lazily between it all as if reluctant to leave such beauty behind. To reach Dalsnibba, many travelers brave the famous Trollstigen, the Troll's Ladder, a serpentine mountain road of hairpin turns and breathtaking vistas. It's not a road for the faint of heart, but each twist and climb reveals views more stunning than the last. As the elevation increases, the lush green below gives way to raw, icy rock, and the air grows thin and sharp with altitude. There's something exhilarating about ascending these peaks not in grand tour buses or sleek trains, but by winding narrow roads that follow the contours of the land as they have for centuries. Just above the fjord, the ancient Skagefla farm clings to a steep mountainside, a testament to the endurance and ingenuity of past generations. Reaching it requires a demanding hike, but those who make the journey are rewarded with not just the ruins of a past life, but an overwhelming sense of stillness. Here, where people once raised livestock on seemingly impossible slopes, one feels dwarfed by nature's scale and humbled by human resilience. And yet, despite all this grandeur, Norway has still more surprises in store. In the next part of our journey, we will arrive at Alesund, a city reborn from the ashes of disaster into one of Europe's most stunning examples of Art Nouveau architecture. We will climb the 418 steps to Mount Axla for sweeping city views, sail to islands where puffins rule the skies, and step further into the layers of Norwegian identity that stretch from sea to summit. As the serpentine roads of Trollstigen descend and the majesty of Geirangerfjord fades into memory, the journey turns toward the coast once more, arriving in Alesund, a city unlike any other in Norway. Nestled across several islands where the fjord meets the sea, Alesund's history took a dramatic turn in 1904, when a fire devastated nearly the entire town. From the ashes rose not just a rebuilt city, but a masterpiece of Art Nouveau architecture, as architects from across Europe descended upon Alesund to reconstruct it in the style of the time. Today, walking through its narrow streets feels like stepping into a fairy tale. Turrets, floral motifs, and pastel-colored facades line the waterways, reflecting gracefully in the calm harbor. But Alesund is more than a storybook setting. For those willing to climb the 418 stone steps leading to the summit of Mount Axla, a breathtaking panorama awaits. From the top, the city spreads out below like a mosaic framed by mountains and sea, the sharp lines of the Art Nouveau buildings contrasted with the fluid curves of surrounding fjords. On clear days, you can see as far as the Sunnmøre Alps, their jagged peaks rising like ancient sentinels above the water. Beyond the city itself, Alesund offers easy access to natural and wildlife wonders. One such marvel lies just offshore, the island of Rund, known as Norway's Bird Island. Between spring and summer, over 500,000 seabirds nest here, including the charismatic puffin with its bright beak and endearing waddle. Standing on the cliffs of Rund and watching these birds soar above crashing waves is a reminder of how Norway's beauty is not confined to land alone. The country's wildlife, too, plays a central role in its identity, elusive, rugged, and undeniably captivating. Leaving Aalesund behind, the journey moves northeast, deeper into Norway's cultural and spiritual heartland. The city of Trondheim, once the capital of the Viking kingdom, now blends the gravitas of history with the pulse of modern life. At its center stands the Nidaros Cathedral, an awe-inspiring Gothic masterpiece that remains the northernmost medieval cathedral in the world. Built atop the burial site of St. Olaf, the patron saint of Norway, it has long served as a pilgrimage destination and continues to impress with its intricate stonework, rose window, and towering spires. Just steps away, the Old Town Bridge, or Bybroen, arches gracefully over the Nidelva River, offering one of the most iconic views in the country. Brightly colored wharf houses line the water's edge, their reflections dancing with the breeze, while pedestrians and cyclists cross the bridge under the welcoming archway known as the Gate of Happiness. It's a city of scholars and artists, of quiet cobbled alleys and open plazas where locals sip coffee in the northern sun. Overlooking the city is the Kristiansand Fortress, built in the 17th century to defend against Swedish attacks. The fortress not only provides a window into the country's military history, but also serves as a perfect vantage point to watch the sun slip toward the horizon over Trondheim's rooftops. Just offshore lies Munkholmen, a small island that has worn many faces through the ages, a monastery, a prison, a fort. Today, it's a serene retreat accessible by boat, where the past seems to drift with the waves. Trondheim marks a turning point in our journey. We have moved from the raw power of the fjords to the architectural grace of the cities, from the isolation of remote farms to the vibrancy of cultural centers. And yet, Norway continues to unfold in surprising ways. In the chapters ahead, we will venture even farther north to the Lofoten Islands and beyond, where the Arctic light never fades, where whales breach in icy waters, and where villages seem suspended between sky and sea. Leaving behind the Gothic towers of Trondheim, we venture into the realm of eternal light, a region where the sun refuses to set in the summer and the sky erupts with glowing auroras in the winter. This is the north. And at its heart lies Lofoten, a dramatic archipelago jutting into the Norwegian Sea, where jagged mountain peaks rise straight from sapphire blue waters, and fishing villages nestle quietly along calm fjords. Stepping onto the islands, one is immediately enveloped by a rhythm of life unlike anywhere else, unhurried, pure, and poetic. The village of Rain emerges like a living painting, with its bright red fishermen's huts scattered along the shoreline beneath towering cliffs dusted with snow. In nearby Hamnøy, every view is a postcard come to life, where sharp contrasts of color and form ignite the imagination of photographers and dreamers alike. Just a short drive away is Henningsvær, home to perhaps the most scenic football pitch in the world. Perched on a rocky outcrop surrounded by the sea, this field lacks stands or turf, but offers something far more magical, the raw majesty of nature embracing human simplicity. In summer, the midnight sun transforms Lofoten into a sleepless paradise. The peaks glow golden at midnight, kayakers glide silently across glowing fjords, and photographers roam the coast to capture the surreal beauty of a sun that never sets. Time loses meaning here, and the lines between day and night blur into a dream of endless twilight. Further north, the archipelago of Vestfjorden offers a quieter but equally profound experience. If Lofoten is about dramatic landscapes, Vestfjorden is about immersion, into nature, into wildlife, into silence. This is Norway's premier destination for whale watching, where sperm whales, humpbacks, and even orcas breach the surface in icy waters off the coast of Andens. Watching one of these gentle giants rise from the deep, expel a spout of misty breath, and gracefully flick its tail into the air is a humbling experience that stays with you forever. Driving the scenic Andøya coastal route, you'll find yourself suspended between land and sky. The road hugs cliffs and beaches, framed by rolling waves and snowy peaks. Occasionally, a herd of reindeer may wander across your path, a quiet reminder that this land still belongs more to nature than to man. In Niksund, an abandoned fishing village reborn as a sanctuary for artists and poets, the world slows down even more. Here, every weathered wall and gust of wind tells a story. Eventually, the road leads to Tromsø, the vibrant Arctic capital of Norway. Despite its high latitude, Tromsø pulses with life, a city of cozy cafes, a global university, and year-round cultural events. Yet its greatest allure lies above. In winter, Tromsø becomes a front-row seat to the greatest light show on Earth, the Northern Lights. As green and violet curtains ripple across the sky, often streaked with gold and blue, you'll feel a primal sense of wonder, as if the cosmos itself is reaching down to perform a dance for you alone. To fully grasp Tromsø's beauty, take the Fjellheisen cable car to the summit of Mount Storsteinen. From there, the city lies below like a scatter of jewels on snow, surrounded by fjords and framed by the Lingen Alps in the distance. Whether bathed in soft midnight light or glowing under the aurora's arc, this view is one of Norway's most unforgettable. In Tromsø, winter adventures abound. Glide through snowy forests on a dog sled, cross-country ski across Arctic plains, or explore the majestic Lingen Alps. Each experience feels like a journey into another world, one of frost and fire, silence and awe. Lofoten, Vesterålen, and Tromsø are the soul of Arctic Norway, wild, mysterious, and breathtaking. But the journey doesn't end here. Ahead lies Svalbard, one of the last truly untouched frontiers on Earth, a realm of polar bears, Soviet ghost towns, and eternal night. If Tromsø is the gateway to the Arctic, then Svalbard is its frozen heart, a place where compasses may fail, where people live alongside polar bears as part of daily life, and where silence and snow stretch to infinity. Located over 900 kilometers north of mainland Norway, this archipelago rises from the Arctic Ocean like an otherworldly domain, where glaciers flow like slow rivers, icebergs drift in still waters, and the sky feels as if it's holding 1,000 ancient secrets. The main settlement, Longyearbyen, the world's northernmost permanently inhabited town, is the starting point for most adventures in Svalbard. Though small, with only a few thousand residents, Longyearbyen holds many peculiarities. There is no functioning cemetery because bodies cannot decompose in the permafrost. Women must leave the island to give birth. And anyone venturing beyond town boundaries is required by law to carry a firearm due to the real danger of encountering polar bears. Yet the atmosphere in this frozen town is remarkably open and international, with people from over 50 countries living together in a spirit of shared resilience and wonder. Venturing farther from Longyearbyen, you may stumble upon the haunting remnants of a past era in the ghost town of Pyramiden. Once a thriving Soviet coal mining settlement, Pyramiden is now frozen in time. Its red brick buildings stand abandoned, a lone statue of Lenin watches over the snow-covered square, and silence dominates the landscape. Visiting Pyramiden feels like walking through a time capsule, where the 1980s never ended. But Svalbard isn't just about the past. It also plays a critical role in the future of humanity. Deep within a mountain, preserved by eternal ice, lies the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, a vault designed to store the seeds of all known crops on Earth. This facility serves as a backup for global agriculture in case of catastrophic events, symbolizing both Svalbard's strategic importance and its contribution to global sustainability. Nature here is breathtaking in a way that almost defies description. Jagged mountain ranges blanketed in snow, sprawling glaciers that seem to stretch forever, and Arctic fjords glimmering under pale light. The scenery is surreal, vast, and deeply humbling. During the summer months, the midnight sun reigns, bathing the land in continuous daylight for nearly 4 months. Conversely, in the heart of winter, polar night envelopes the islands in darkness, an unbroken night stretching from November to February. This perpetual darkness, however, brings its own magic, as the sky comes alive with vibrant displays of the northern lights. Svalbard is also the realm of the polar bear, its most iconic inhabitant. With an estimated population of around 3,000 bears, they actually outnumber humans in the region. Spotting one in the wild is both exhilarating and sobering, a reminder that here, humans are guests in a kingdom ruled by nature. Exploring Svalbard is a rare blend of adventure and awe. From ice caving and snowmobiling across frozen valleys to cruising alongside towering glaciers and camping under the Arctic sky, every experience here peels back the layers of our modern lives and reconnects us with something primal. It's not a destination for luxury seekers, but for dreamers and wanderers, for those who crave the untamed and long to feel small beneath the vastness of the universe. Svalbard doesn't just challenge the body, it awakens the spirit. It offers a kind of silence that sings, and a kind of cold that strangely warms the heart with its raw, untouched purity. As we journey back toward the southern coast of Norway, the raw Arctic drama gradually gives way to softer, greener landscapes and the rhythmic pulse of coastal life. Stavanger greets us not with icy winds or glacier walls, but with cobbled streets, colorful harbors, and the vibrant energy of a city that seamlessly blends modernity with centuries-old charm. Stavanger is one of Norway's oldest cities, yet it pulses with youthful dynamism. It's the oil capital of the country and a cultural hub filled with galleries, museums, and an ever-evolving food scene. Walking through Gamla Stavanger, the city's old town, you find yourself surrounded by a cluster of well-preserved wooden houses painted white and adorned with climbing roses and lanterns, a living postcard for the 18th century. Despite the city's modern affluence, this quiet quarter offers a deep sense of continuity, a reminder that history here is not something hidden in museums, but lived in every day. Yet the most breathtaking experiences near Stavanger lie just outside the city limits. Driving inland, the landscape suddenly rises and twists, and before you know it, you're standing at the edge of fjord, one of the most majestic fjords in all of Norway. And there, jutting out over the 600-meter-deep chasm, is Preikestolen, or Pulpit Rock. Few places in the world match the sheer theatricality of Preikestolen. The massive cliff, flat-topped and sudden, overlooks shimmering waters far below and towering peaks all around. The hike to the top is no easy stroll. It takes hours of climbing over boulders and across wooden bridges, with every bend revealing a new vista more dramatic than the last. But when you finally stand atop the plateau, with the wind in your hair and the fjord stretching endlessly beneath your feet, time seems to pause. It's not just the height or the view that overwhelms you, it's the deep, ancient silence of the fjord, a silence that feels sacred. The fjord region is full of similar moments, places where nature's scale and power humble and elevate all at once. The Kjeragbolten, a boulder wedged between two cliffs high above the fjord, draws thrill seekers from around the globe. Standing on that rock, suspended over a dizzying drop, isn't just a photo opportunity. It's a challenge to your own sense of fear, freedom, and trust in the world around you. As our journey through Norway draws to a close, it becomes clear that this country is far more than the sum of its landscapes. Yes, there are fjords that look like they were carved by gods, and mountains that rise like silent sentinels. Yes, there are coastal villages where every building seems painted by hand and forests so quiet they might swallow your thoughts. But the real wonder of Norway lies in the way it makes you feel. Norway invites you to slow down, to breathe, to listen. It asks nothing of you except presence. It reminds you that beauty isn't something manufactured, but something you stumble upon in the stillness of a fjord, in the flicker of the northern lights, or in the laughter echoing from a mountain hut. This is a land where nature and people have learned to coexist with deep respect, where architecture bends to the contours of the earth, and technology hums quietly in the background of ancient traditions. It's a country shaped by ice and sea, but warmed by a spirit of resilience, hospitality, and peace. To visit Norway is to journey not just across a landscape, but into the heart of what it means to be alive, to be small in the face of greatness, and yet somehow more connected to the world than ever before. So if one day you find yourself standing on the edge of a fjord, or under a sky painted in green and violet, don't just take a picture. Close your eyes. Listen. Breathe. Because in that moment, you'll understand, this isn't just a place. It's a feeling, a wonder, a memory that will never leave you.